The bravest journeys rarely begin with certainty, they begin with hope. Fragile, but enough. This is where Naya's story actually starts. Not on a plane, not in America. It starts in a hospital hallway in Greece at 3 in the morning with a woman who was already everything she was supposed to be and still couldn't make it enough. Naya was a doctor, a good one. She worked long shifts at a government hospital, the kind of shifts where the sun sets before you clock in and rises after you clock out. And every one of those shifts, she carried something most of her colleagues didn't: a son waiting for her to come home. Except home, some nights, was a hospital nursery 2 corridors from where she stood. She'd steal 10 minutes between patients just to watch him breathe through the glass, her scrubs still on, coffee gone cold in her hand, telling herself this was temporary, that soon there'd be enough hours in the day for both the job and her child. But there never quite were. The father of her child, Enzo, had left for America a few years earlier with a promise to build a safe haven for them both. At first, there was still a thread between them. A call here, a message there, enough to convince her the distance was survivable. Then one day, her phone simply stopped lighting up with his name. No explanation, no goodbye, just silence, stretching longer every week until she stopped expecting it to break. She never got her answers. She just got used to not having them. Was he alive? Had he remarried? Had he built a life that no longer had room for either of them? And underneath all of it, one question she couldn't put down. Was this really the life she wanted her son to grow up in? Naya had a medical degree, a steady job, a title most people spend a lifetime chasing. On paper, it should have been enough, but enough was starting to feel like a word other people used to describe a life she was barely holding together, alone, away from family, running on cold coffee and 3 a.m. silence. Then, without asking too, America stopped being just a country on a map. It became a question she couldn't stop turning over. He was there. Maybe there'd be answers. Maybe Enzo could get to know his father. Maybe, somewhere out there was a version of this life that didn't feel so heavy. But leaving meant giving up the only stability she had left: her job, her family, the streets she understood without having to think. And she wouldn't be going alone. Enzo was coming with her, even if he was too young to remember the decision that was about to reroute both their lives. She applied for a tourist visa, not because it was ideal, but because it was the only option she could afford. No plan, no guarantee, just a door cracked open. And on a morning that looked like every other morning, she made the kind of decision that doesn't feel historic while making it, but feels like the only thing left to try. Naya said goodbye to her family and closest friends before she left Greece with her son. She didn't know what was waiting for her in America. She didn't know how long it would take before she practiced medicine again, or that temporary was about to become a word she'd have to tell herself with over and over just to get through the next morning. The only thing she knew for certain was that staying in Greece had become harder than the unknown. Thank you for being here. If this spoke to you, start with one question, just one, and comment how. Then share this with someone in your community. That's how we build together.